policymakers in Europe won't mind this volatility as long as the markets move in the right direction, i.e. up.
Well, the policymakers should worry about all this volatility a lot, but depending on which country we're in, I think the consequences that central banks especially will draw will be very different. Japan, obviously, the most concerning here. The central bank buying all these assets, yet, and especially government bonds, yet the yields on government bonds are spiking, and that has had this impact on the stock markets as well. The Japanese market is really trading on hope. There's a little bit of growth, obviously, in the first quarter, but overall, we're hoping that the Japanese will have the structural reforms needed to make this a sustainable recovery. In the US, on the contrary, we have a sustainable recovery. It could be even faster if the government was not doing as much fiscal austerity as it does, but clearly the US is much more sustainable. So the consequences or the lessons that each country should draw from the volatility are different. Japan trading on hope, the US a sustainable recovery.
And Europe somewhere in between, I would guess. Today we have a Franco-German New Deal, if you like, on trying to tackle youth unemployment. Is it fair to say, though, there's some scepticism that initiatives like this will have any effect?
Well, in Europe, these things come in cycles. I think the end of the current cycle will be the summit at the end of June. We're preparing, getting ready for this. There are some big topics on the agenda, the banking union, obviously. But Germany and France would like to also do more for growth. And there are two topics here. One is youth unemployment. The other is lending of banks to small and medium-sized enterprises. Germany's had some bilateral deals with Spain and Portugal here. I think the French want to do something here too. And then the youth unemployment problem is also something where there have been some bilateral deals and they want to lift that to European level. I don't think that any of these things are really going to make much of a difference. They're going to cast the mood a little for the June meeting, but the real important issue is the banking union.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and talking of France, just to finish up, the Bank of France gives its annual assessment of the economy today. We've just had consumer confidence numbers from France. Pretty dismal. They fell to their lowest, as far as I can see, the lowest on record.
Indeed, the mood in France is very bad. Also, the PMIs or any other indicator that you could look at is much lower in France than it is even in the crisis countries in the Eurozone. However, I think the mood in France is slightly worse than the actual situation. It's more a vote of no confidence in the government's policies than a reflection of the actual economy. The economy was shrinking, but much less than most of the crisis countries. It's really more flatlining and stagnating. It just shows that France needs reforms. It needs more reliable government policies to really drag us out of this confidence slump.